started to happen in my drawers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason's lyric has some toxicity.
Well, you know what? I take it back. Let me reverse my answer. Jason's lyric, because I want to get fucked in some flowers too.
Hi, welcome back to Sincerely Love, the podcast. And as always, I hope that you feel validated, seen, heard, and deserving of all of the love in the world after this episode. Today we are talking about puppy love and friendship and how they coincide in our relationship with love and the impact of our childhoods in experiencing love and how it affects us as adults. I am here today with my two best friends. Y'all know them, those of you who have been tuning in, Taz and Keish I. And today we're gonna kind of dive in. They are the perfect people to have this episode with. One, because we have such a great rapport. I've been knowing them for over 10 years, and we are talking about friendship. So, what other people would I have to do this with other than my two best friends? Thank you guys.
You are so welcome.
Okay. Main character energy, you giving it already. Okay.
Oh.
That's fine. That's good that we're all main characters here. You know, do you feel like that's an issue for you? Let's dive in. Is that an issue for you in your relationship?
Well, I think we're here to talk about puppy love.
Okay. I'm just noticing, as a clinician, you know, as we begin the episode.
Well, I think that you should have self-confidence. I don't want to say it's main character energy, but when you come off as a very self-assured, you're very self-aware, it could come off as main character energy to some people who don't possess that main character energy.
Okay. So, bypass that, y'all. This man is a fool. Okay. So, we're here to talk about puppy love and friendship, right? So, what do y'all feel like is the difference between the two?
Between friendship and puppy love?
Well, yeah. Like, what's the difference between friendship in our childhoods? Like, that's the main thing that we're talking about. Like, the difference between experiencing friendship and puppy love. Like, you know how a lot of adults say, oh, well, that wasn't a real relationship, you know, or...
Oh, like when you're growing up?
When you're growing up, yeah. You feel like that's just your little friend, you know, that's what my mama called it. When I had guys that I talked to in high school, that's just your little friend, that's not your boyfriend.
I can see how that can be a thing, like how that can come off as like, it's not real love to them, because I feel like it's uncomfortable for parents to see their kids experiencing love. But going through it as a child, like, and even as an adult, like comparing the two to like how I've experienced love as an adult and how I experienced love as like a preteen or a teenager, it feels pretty much the fucking same. So I mean, I have to be experiencing something. It's an emotion at the end of the day, and it's a feeling. It doesn't, I mean, it could change, yes, in terms of like the person and the environment, but I believe it's the same thing. Like, you just, you know.
Yeah, because I think as we're growing up and we're kids, we don't look at it as puppy love. Like, this is love. This is the real thing at that age. Yes, I love her. That's gonna be my husband.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But, okay, so is there a difference between that's just your little friend and experiencing that love? Or no? Like, looking back, would you consider that person like a friend of yours that you had a very strong affinity for, or no?
No. Well, not for me anyway. The person that I'm thinking about, like, I really loved that woman.
Oh, it was a woman?
Yeah, girl, it was
Oh, I was underneath the impression that...
I loved it, her.
Wow, a woman, you say? Okay. I thought you was trying to Frank Ocean us. You know, he was thinking about the women, but he was really talking about me. I thought that's what you was giving us.
Well, no. Well, okay. Well, listen. Yeah. It was yeah.
So this person, because you know, the gender doesn't matter.
The gender doesn't matter.
Okay.
But she was a woman, a girl at the time, but like, you know, she's a grown woman now. I really loved her. I didn't have to be with her ass, but I wanted to be.
What?
Yeah, that's my first heartbreak, girl.
What?
My first heartbreak.
You talking about who I know?
I think that's why I'm with men now.
You talking about who I know? What?
No, I don't want to say that because that's mean.
That is, don't say that.
I won't
Don't
say
that.
that.
We won't give nobody no freaking. But so, okay, so what would y'all say is the definition of puppy love then? Like, if y'all feel like there's no difference, what's the difference? I mean, what's the definition of it?
Immature love.
But what makes it immature?
Because we don't know what real love is at that point.
We're learning what it is. Like, I think we all have to go through a puppy love stage in order to appreciate what actual real love is.
But what about the intensity?
Well, I feel puppy love is, I think we experience puppy love as adults. Puppy love is that honeymoon phase. That's that very surface level love. We're not going too deep. We don't know.
You're just being very delusional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very immature.
Yeah.
So y'all would say like the honeymoon phase that they talk about in adulthood and the puppy love phase is quite similar.
Yes.
What?
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
know if I agree with that.
Why
Well,
don't
I agree to a certain extent, I'll say that. But I feel like, so my high school relationships, I feel were very like adult.
Oh, yes.
That's the difference.
Oh, yes.
And not because I was an adult, but I'm just saying, okay,
'Cause-
I'm getting there. I'm telling this is my truth. It's just my truth.
Okay.
It's just my truth. Okay. Like Ari Lennox, it's just my truth. But what I'm saying is, I went through a lot of, I feel like, adult experiences or experiences within relationships that I should not have been privy to as a kid, as a teenager. And I don't think any woman should be subjected to those experiences as an adult either, but I do feel like they were some very serious moments. And so when we're talking about immaturity in terms of relationships, I feel like the way certain things were handled was very immature because we didn't have that like cognitive development or emotional intelligence to be able to handle it in a mature capacity. But I do feel like there was some adultness to those experiences.
Yeah.
But should there have been?
Well, no.
No, there shouldn't have been. But I think that goes back to, oh, that's just your little friend. That's not real love. That's not X, Y, and Z. But like the intensity of it is there. So like, how do you quantify what real love is just based on immaturity?
Okay.
Like, because love is a physiological response that your body has as well. Like there's some cognitive construct there. Like you intellectualize your experience with someone. That's how we set boundaries, all those things. But the physiological response is the same. Like that doesn't change based on maturity or immaturity.
I agree.
Yes, I agree too. I just think the difference is our understanding of it. We haven't developed that cognitive ability to be able to process what those feelings and emotions surrounding love really mean.
Maturity comes in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're saying is
The same thing.
We got a general consensus. Then it's love, but it's puppy love because it's immature in terms of the cognitive development that goes into it. Okay.
So you start out with puppy love. Okay. Then you grow into dog love because now you're full grown. You see what I'm saying? And these niggas be dogs.
And when you said it, I was like, well, we don't want to say that because we don't want no dogs now. You lay down, you might get fleas.
You might come up with
And I know,
something more than fleas. No. Okay, so now what are we classifying as fleas? Because I want to make the record reflect. I ain't never had no damn fleas. I never had no fleas now.
Me either.
And I want the
Since
record
we're
to
clearing
reflect
it.
Even if you done had a couple of fleas or tick here,
You get you a flea shot.
you get you a shot, bitch. Get you a collar, okay? And you going about your business, and there's still love at the end of it because I'm happy and in love, okay? In a healthy, slightly toxic, because I like a little toxicity, relationship. So even if you have had some fleas, it's okay.
It's all right. Shake them off. Take a Take a flea bath.
You got multiple options. You can take a bath, you can get you a shot, you can get you a collar, and sometimes you need all three. Hello.
There's a solution to every,
Almost everything.
Almost. Because you might fuck around and get, I was finna say, you might fuck around and get bit by a damn tick and catch a blood-borne pathogen.
Or a baby. So let's not forget that.
That's a blood-borne.
Exactly.
You a man, but those things can happen to you too. I'm quite sure that you have had those scares.
Well, no. I have not.
Not with any women?
Well, okay, listen. There was an instance during my puppy love stages.
Immature.
Keeping it to the thing. During my puppy love stages where I almost caught a flea. The bitch caught fleas on her own accord from other dogs. And she gonna try to bring them little doggy ass fleas home to me. And I found out about it from one of them other little puppies. And when I found out about it, I had to cut her leash up. I had to cut it up, let her go.
What a tramp.
What a tramp.
You was the lady and she was the tramp.
You see what I'm saying? That girl tried to give me fleas. And was gonna try to say that it was me that gave her the fleas.
She had a plan?
She had it all lined. It was a scheme.
That Todd set up.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, there was a time I had a scare with flea or two. Okay. But as of recently, I take care of myself. I'm very cautious with who I decide to flee around with.
But I think to our point though, I know we laugh and joke, but to our point, I really feel like that immaturity definitely helps to cultivate a matureness within our experience with love, not to date. Okay, so a core memory that I have for myself that I feel like contributed to more of the sexual side of who I am. I found a Zane book of my mom's, right? And I was reading and I was just so disgusted. Now, not disgusted enough to keep me numbed or nothing like that, but I really feel like it was a core memory that helped to cultivate my curiosity in relationships in general, not necessarily just sex, but just relationships in general. Now, what would y'all say is a core memory in your childhood for y'all that played a role in your adulthood now?
Go ahead.
You go.
Because I know what mine is.
Go ahead. Well, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to let you go.
Because he's going to say something. Fuck.
It's not going to be that bad. I promise.
A core memory.
Come on.
It got to be something bad.
No, it's not. But in relation to what you say about a book, it's probably, and I can't even think of name of the movie, but seeing kind of a sex scene play out in a movie, and feeling uncomfortable in watching it, but also very curious in watching it as well, and kind of oh, okay, what this is about, So I'd say that's a core memory.
Did it lead into your curiosity with relationships in general, or just the sexual aspect?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that too. I feel like I didn't really have much openness with watching a lot of sex scenes. One, because I grew up in a very religious household, and anything came up on the TV, my grandma would change it. But for whatever reason, we had HBO, and y'all know back then, Girls Gone Wild. used to be on HBO. They used to have the
Zane Six Chronicles.
The film, you know, and I think that plays a role into like me as an adult now. Like all that at home adult entertainment, I don't like that. It look ghetto. It gives project to me. Like that raw, natural,
like the homemade
stuff.
I don't like that kind of stuff.
I don't, and I feel like me watching that HBO stuff at 2 a.m. with my girl.
You want something with a plot.
It has to have a plot. It has to be a motion picture.
Yes, you want some production.
I'm kind of the same way too, but I still like for it to give like a little home video type of feel.
Then they have dot thing. They don't be clean looking. I don't want none of that.
Well,
I don't want none of that.
So this is my core memory.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me set the scene. It's 2008.
Okay.
I was probably like 11. No, 2008. I was probably like 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I was at my mom's house. And at the time, her and my sister's dad were canoodling with each other. That's another story. But so I guess she was buying like pornos for him. My mama was buying pornos for him, and he was just watching them, I guess, or they was watching them together. I don't know what they was doing. So anyhow,
not you telling your mama business, but keep going.
Should be all right. So anyhow, I go one day. I think they went to the store or something. I can't remember where they were, but I walked into her room and I was looking for something. I can't remember what it was, and I was just rummaging through her drawers, and I come across this magnificent catalog of these nice homely movies, you know, very wholesome movies. And one of them stuck out to me. I'll never forget the name of it. It was Big Juicy. Big Juicy Booty. And it had like a picture of this lady. She was like, she had her back turned, but she was like that, you know?
Like a pinup.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, you know? So I took it into my room. And I put it in my PlayStation, because you know at the time, you PlayStation, you didn't have no DVD player, you just put it in the PlayStation. So I put it in the PlayStation and it came on, and the opening scene, it was just like her legs. And all you see was just like some red heels, and it was like her legs and they panned up.
Ooh, that's a scene.
That was a scene.
That's
You
a
see what I'm
scene,
saying? That woman had one of the fattest asses I ever seen in my life, and that's when I knew then what kind of movie I was gonna get myself into.
And you know what's a wonder about that? You still come out to be gay.
Well, let me tell you about that. So the movie carries on. The movie continues on. Now, mind y'all, I was kind of not really a weirdo as a kid, but I was very much like churchy. Like very churchy and very like still just very innocent to the world. Like I knew, you know, that, you know, but I didn't know. I didn't know to the extent. And as the movie carried on, things started to happen in my drawers.
Okay.
And I didn't know what the hell was going on. My mom and them came back home. And y'all, I ran to the living room and I was like, Mama, it's broke.
Oh my goodness.
Like, something is wrong with it. And she was like, something's wrong with it, something's wrong with it. And then I moved my hand and I showed her, and she was like, you ain't been in there my damn movies and I was like, I'm sorry. So for a long time, I was scared to watch anything sexual because I thought something was gonna happen. It was wrong. It was broken. I had broke myself. And then I got introduced to them girls and they just turned me out. They turned me out. So that's my core memory about, you know, it's a little bit less cheeky than y'all's, but
I think I'm mortified just a little bit.
Shaped me into the man I am today.
Yeah, and that's sad.
Oh, okay. Well, that was quite rude. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I say that because, you know them dogs we was talking about?
The flea ones.
Yeah, we could call them that. You know, sometimes when you have, I think, okay, as we're talking about our childhood experiences, right? And so sometimes when you have certain experiences, that just let you loose a little bit. And now as an adult, you a little too loose with yourself. And so it's just some people that's like that. Not to say that you're one of those people, but sometimes it seems like that. But anyway, let's play a game.
Sure.
Okay. So we're talking about puppy love, right, and our experiences and how it kind of like shaped who we are in terms of relationships today, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna play a game. We're gonna talk about TV shows and what those shows taught us. And I'm gonna start off with one that's been quite controversial, Moesha. Now I think Moesha was not a great friend. I think that she was very selfish. I think that in her dating life, when she liked the guy, but her friend liked them, and the guy likes her friend instead, she would be very cold to her friend and try to push up on the guy. And so for me, that really taught me in my childhood that I don't want a friend like that, because bitch, why you hating? And so I know, like, as an adult, watching Moesha, it's very cringe, and I can't get through a few episodes because I'm like, why you acting like that? So, like, what is y'all's interpretation as adults now, like, of Moesha?
I agree with the selfishness, especially in friendships. But also, that is probably what the show was created to depict, just her point of view. I mean, it is called Moesha. But yeah, I definitely see the selfishness side of her. And it's like, I remember being a kid and wanting to be like Moesha. And now it's like, nah.
Because I felt like as a kid, to your point, I feel like she taught me to be that girl. Like, everything is about me. If you don't like it, that's it, you know. But
that's healthy in some ways.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think it was exaggerated, and it's TV, so it has to be exaggerated, right? And I think as a child, being susceptible to things like that, I didn't take it as an exaggeration of television. I took it like, hey, bitch, if you ain't with the winning team, then who was you with, you know? So I don't feel like it was healthy for me.
I think a lot of the reason why she was the way she was because of the relationship she had with her dad. Her daddy was the real villain in that show.
Well, okay, so why do you think Frank?
Frank was he was overbearing as a father. He was way too strict on her. So I feel like she wanted to rebel in a way. And she just did it the wrong way, unfortunately. But because of the relationship she had with her father and her feeling like he really didn't really fuck with her mama like that, I feel like there was always some tension between them two. So it kind of was like she was, what is it called, projecting her relationship with her dad on everybody else around her. Yeah.
I mean, so yes, I think that's a great point. And I think in my adult mind, in my clinician mind, it's really like, okay, give you grace. I see you. I understand. But like I tell clients and like I tell people all the time, just because you are going through something in your life doesn't give you the right to shit on other people or treat other people that way.
Right.
You know? And I feel like TV plays a huge role in how not only like we as kids understand love and understand friendship, but also like being adults. It plays a huge role in who we come to be as an adult. And I feel like in some of my adult friendships, I have seen very Moesha tendencies. And it makes me think about, like, to your point, Keish, when you talk about we're looking from the lens of Moesha, I think about Joan from Girlfriends and how we was taught that she was the villain, because my mama used to love Girlfriends. I used to watch Girlfriends with my mom, right? And as an adult, going back and watching it, I'm like, Joan was not the villain. As a kid, I was like, why is she so mean to her friends?
And I never got that from her.
Really?
Me either.
Not as a kid?
No. Like when I was growing up, I always knew it was Tony Childs that was the problem.
Well, yeah.
Like, oh my God, this bitch is so pretentious.
I thought that too, but I also felt like Joan was not judgmental. Well, yeah.
She was judgmental.
She was.
She was.
But I feel like it came from a place of love.
It did.
And friendship, and it wasn't meant to be judgmental. But I never saw Joan as the villain, even in the later episodes where she was really made out to be the villain. When the friendship ended between her and Tony, it was kind of like, you done did all this stuff to this lady all these years.
But now
and
that
she's
like, you got a problem with it now. So it's like, girl, please. Now you wanna be Miss holier than thou. You wanna be damn savior of the day. After wreaking havoc on these people for all these damn years. Girl.
But I think that goes back to like the reverse, like how we say when we're kids, the girl that's locked up can't go nowhere, can't do anything. Like that's the one that go to college and wild out. And people that were able to kind of live their lives in an appropriate way, or maybe they wild out in high school. I feel like they go to college, and some of them kind of settle down a little bit because they were able to have that freedom. But I feel like we watched Girlfriends and seen it in a adult relationship where Joan was the friend that always had her shit together, you know, for the most part. Had a great career, she was successful, you know, she was known, and she was always trying to hold it together, and her friends was leaning on her, and then when she needed them, they didn't give her that same like grace and latitude.
And I think it was necessary for her character to be shown like falling apart a little bit, because she always had it together, seemingly. But I think it was necessary to show that she's human too. Like, bitch, everybody have bad days and go through bad patches of life. It's just depending on how you maneuver it, and especially with the people around you and how they receive it, or like how they, you know, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Oh, damn therapist.
Well, you a mental health.
I'm a mental health activist, but yeah. I couldn't get the words out, but that's all right. Y'all understood the concept.
Yes, we do. We get you. We got what you're saying.
But in those friendships too, like that really taught me, well, not just watching Joan, but within my experiences and watching Girlfriends, it taught me to give other people grace a lot more, and to accept grace and have it as a requirement for being my friend too, because that could really develop like these one-sided relationships. And because I'm very much a lover girl, not just when it comes to romantic partnerships, but also platonic ones with my friends too, I'm like, what do you need? I'll be there. How can I help you in some way? Listening to different issues, or just being there from an emotional standpoint, you know. But I had to learn from experience and watching these shows that like, okay, you can give that and you could be a friend to somebody, but it's very possible for them not to be a friend to you. And just because you love somebody in a high regard doesn't mean that they love you the same.
I think that show taught me that it was okay to grow apart from people too.
I didn't like that though, and I still don't. But
no, I don't like it, but if it happens, it just happens. Like those type of things, I feel like happen naturally. If you grow apart from somebody, that had to have happened naturally, or I mean, y'all just never really fucked with each other to begin with. Yeah.
So okay, you talk about growing apart, right? So what about Mona and her mama on Half and Half? So her parents grew apart. Her mama basically like pushed her husband away, and he fell in love with another woman, all that stuff. So who do you feel like was in the wrong, Mona's mom or her dad in their relationship? And not them growing apart, but like her upbringing, because she struggled. She had big, poofy, curly hair. She was very eccentric. And so she grew up feeling unloved on her daddy's part. So like, who do you feel like is the villain in this scenario?
The father.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, it's your responsibility to be a parent, regardless of the situation. You still try to find a way to show up and be there for your child. And regardless of how the mother was toward him, he let go of that responsibility and left everything to her.
I feel like he tried to be there as much as he could, but I feel like there's something there subconsciously that they never really show on the episodes, because there's an episode that I remember specifically where his younger daughter that he had in his current marriage wanted a horse. And so their birthday is like a couple of days or a few days apart. And they always have these joint birthday parties as kids. And so because she asked for, like a few days before a birthday party, she asked for a horse. He got her the horse. Both of the daughters were there. The people pull up with the horse, and they only have one for the younger daughter. Mm-hmm. And so the older one, Mona, like she's just sitting there, no horse, no nothing. And the younger sister, very happy, she got her horse, and Mona's mama pulls up and is asking like all these questions, but she's very like irate about how she's going about it, and it makes her look crazy essentially. Mm-hmm. She look a fool. She look a mess, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like how she handled it. She made herself look real bad. But I said that to say that I agree with the point that he's the villain, but I feel like she didn't ask for a horse.
I was just about to say that. Like, she didn't even ask for one.
So like, and I feel like a lot of these shows too teach us, for a lot of black and brown kids, we sometimes grow up without our father and we don't experience that love in our childhood. So when we talk about puppy love, some girls may be falling in love with the bad boys, the drug dealers, this person and that person, and we're falling in love with this toxic masculinity because it also is an exaggeration of manhood, like we're learning on these shows. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that show specifically, it paints him out to be the villain for not doing certain things, but he didn't do them because they didn't ask for those things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what is y'all perspective on that?
You didn't ask for it, then. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little jaded when it comes to that because my dad did the same thing. Like, he showed up financially, but I still to this day ain't never met that man in person. And when I had a conversation with him about it, he said that he was waiting for me to reach out to him because he had experienced something with like one of his other kids and it didn't go over well. And at first, like, I was a teenager when that happened. And at first I was like, oh, okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But as an adult, I'm like, well, no. Mm-mm. You're the parent. Exactly. I'm the child. Like, I shouldn't have had to reach out to you. Mm-hmm. So in that regard, I can see how he could be the villain. Mm-hmm. But also, like, if she didn't ask for no horse and the other girl asked for one, just because you get one thing, don't mean you got to get the other one the same thing. They might not even have the same interests.
But you still don't do for one and not do for the other.
So he didn't get her nothing.
No.
I didn't remember that part.
No, and then they got bikes, and one of the girls' bikes had the pom-poms on it. You know how you can get the bikes with the fringe on it? She had it, and the other girl just got a plain, it looked like a boyish bike, and the other girl's bike was like really decked out. But, I mean, to your point though, her younger sister's mom was very bougie. I mean, my baby got to have the best, and my baby got to have X.
And she played a part in a lot of that too.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. So and I think further along in the seasons, they do kind of go over how they all played a role in it. But to your point of saying she didn't ask for a horse, but how this whole conversation we've been having is about how our childhood experiences play a role in our adult lives and the way we love and our experience of that. It showed her remembering that core memory, like we just got to talk about our core memories, and this girl had to one-up her sister, or tried to one-up her sister, and she ordered a horse online. That was when the internet was first, and she ordered a horse online thinking it was like a winning horse, had been in like all type of derbies and stuff, and it was, but it was a pony. It was like a really tiny horse, and her sister's horse was like this big stallion. It had grew up, and they, had it in stables, had it taken care of. And she just, again, furthermore, made herself look desperate because she's still searching for something that she missed in her childhood. And it definitely played a role in her romantic relationships too. Just accepting anything because, again, lacking something in her childhood.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
That's very unfortunate. I hope that pony had a nice life.
She kept that pony.
I would have kept it too. It's an award-winning pony. I bet that girl horse ain't got no damn award.
Well, it did. But that's not the point.
The point is she got an award-winning pony.
That's it.
Surefine just a worker, but a worker horse.
Oh,
Wait a minute. And to add insult to injury, the little sister named the horse Daddy's favorite.
so she knew what she was doing.
Wait a minute. So did the little sister named it that?
Yes, it showed it. I'm gonna name him Daddy's favorite.
And you know what? She got that from her damn mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to go back to the original question,
The villain.
all the parents in the situations was the villains.
The villain was the damn parents.
Yes.
All of them played a part in the rigmarole and the disarray.
But that's something that I also tell clients. Like, I have clients that, or I just come across people in general that take on the root of everything that they experience and they internalize it, and it's their fault. Like, everything is my fault. And I have them do the responsibility pie chart. And just like we kind of broke down the show and we seen how each parent played a role, I have them break down whatever circumstance they're going through or they're blaming themselves for, and I have them like piece it and put whatever percentage they feel like their car breaking down, their boss yelling at them or having a deadline at work, their parents, their childhood, a recent breakup, how all of these different factors in their lives played a role in their current experience or whatever the prompting event is. And it seems to really help people when they have an issue blaming themselves for certain things that have happened. Like, they completely blame themselves, and then after doing the responsibility pie chart, it helps them see that our circumstances in life are multifaceted. It's not just about us or on us. All of these things play a role. Like, all of those parents play a role.
So in other words, it's not my fault. It's your fucking fault.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, what is my fault is my fault. But if it ain't my damn fault, it's your damn fault. And stop faulting me for some shit that you faulted.
You gonna use that in
I'm gonna write that down as soon as I get. Write that down.
But Tim, you do be writing down some good
I
shit,
do.
So hopefully you take that.
That was pretty good.
So let's move our game into a segment where we're gonna pick and choose, essentially.
Okay.
So we're not really breaking nothing down or applicating it to our childhood, nothing like that. We're gonna pick and choose. So Jason's lyric, or poetic justice?
Poetic justice.
Poetic justice.
Ooh, why?
I don't know. I like the toxicity.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, Jason's lyric has some toxicity.
Well, you know what? I take it back. Let me reverse my answer. Jason's lyric, because I want to get fucked in some flowers too.
I'm gonna stick with
Well,
Poetic
they had
justice.
sex in the back of a mail truck.
Well, I mean,
and at the beach.
Oh yeah. Oh, sand in your ass.
yeah, it is saying I don't
It's
like
crunchy.
it.
I can just feel it.
I don't like that. But okay, I feel like I would say Jason's lyric, because as we're talking about our childhoods, both of them had very tumultuous childhoods when it came to like love from their parents and all of that, and that played a role in the toxicity that they experienced at the beginning, like in the movie or whatever, and they overcame that. It was like, you know what, I gotta leave this shit behind. And that was good. It was a good love story. Okay, y'all can hang it out. I'll say Jason. Okay, Love Jones or Brown Sugar?
Love Jones.
Love Jones. That's my favorite movie.
Why Love Jones?
'Cause
I love a poetic man.
yes.
No, I like, well, wait, Brown Sugar, because I get them both. That's why I had them two together, because I get them. Brown Sugar is with and I like the
And Tay
Oh,
well, I
yeah,
don't.
I like that.
I didn't say brown sugar because, like, he really just kind of slept on her for a little while.
You're not gonna sleep on me
Yeah,
for
you're not gonna-
years.
you
You're not
gonna
gonna
know it from the
marry.
beginning.
You're not gonna marry another woman and then come back
Right.
to me.
Like, no.
No.
I mean, but in his defense, she the one said that they was just friends.
But
She
if
said
he
that-
wants, if a man wants something bad enough, he don't give a fuck about her saying no. We just no damn friends. He gonna keep trying until they're not friends no more.
Yeah, it's true. But like like Megan said, if you still around, you still trying to fuck me, and it's been years, nigga, you lame.
I want a man that's gonna chase the train after me.
Okay, so I know we're not analyzing nothing like that, but I have had people chase. I have had one specific person chase me down. I'm talking about no. I'm telling you no. You know I'm good. I'm really chilling right now. I'm talking about chase me down. And then once I was in love, once I was invested into the relationship, that person basically tossed me to the side.
I know.
Yeah.
And so I
had that same experience.
I feel like from that experience, I definitely have learned that no, if I said no, like what, of course you gotta use discernment and see like, is this person being around because they truly care about me as a human being and they want to see me do well in life in general, or are they just a squirrel trying to get a nut? So I do think discernment plays a role, but no, you're not gonna chase me down. I done told your ass no,
and then play on my time.
No, and treat me like I'm the ugly one.
Right.
No.
That'd be the crazy part.
That's not the same thing that happened in Brown Sugar?
You see what
A little bit.
That's that toxicity she says she enjoys.
I said Love Jones.
I'm talking about her ass.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Now they had some toxic moments in Love Jones too. They did. I mean, they was together. They not together. They together. They not together. But in the end,
they was together.
Okay, Love and Basketball or Save the Last Dance?
Neither.
You don't like Save the Last Dance?
Two of my favorite movies.
Black Love.
You don't like Save the Last Dance?
Save the Last Dance was. I mean, not Save the Last Dance. Love and Basketball. It was Black Love.
Save the Last Dance is not.
That's an interracial. Yeah, that's when she was sitting in that chair. He was like, yeah.
She ate that.
She did.
12-year-old me was like, she ate that.
That choreography when she hit that ballet and all of that.
I'm talking
Looking
One
back at it
doing
now,
nothing.
I'm about to say, looking back at it now, she wasn't really doing shit.
Nothing.
But back then, this right here, she had me.
I'm talking about, hey.
Watch me squash this shit.
Me squash.
Like, ooh. When that bitch said that, I thought, that's a good
Wait, no, you talking about
Bianca Lawson.
Bianca.
Watch me squash this shit.
That wasn't right.
It wasn't right, but she looked cunt, so she get her 10s.
She looked.
I would choose Love and Basketball for the simple fact of like it being two black people. But you know, in terms of like what I would go back and watch for The Last Dance.
Love and Basketball is another. You're not finna go out and choose somebody else and then come back to me and pick me up later.
That's not what happened, though.
But that is what happened.
That is what happened.
That's not. First of all, they hadn't talked in years. Anyway, okay.
You better stick with your first choice. Stick with your first choice.
Okay. They had some issues.
Well, they had some, all right.
But going back, okay, all right. So they was in college. He went through something with his dad. His dad was his hero, okay? And then he found out his dad was a womanizer. It broke him. And he had to go out there and mature. They didn't talk for years and years. He matured, she matured. They got back together, going back to the beginning of this discussion about the immaturity in puppy love. They had puppy love, and now they have this mature love. It
took him a long time to mature.
It did. Mm-hmm. Well, you know the male brain don't really fully develop till 25.
That's a good thing I'm a woman.
Okay, last question. So, how did all of these shows influence you? Influence like how you loved and how you allowed yourself to be loved?
Got me into some toxic situations I shouldn't have been in.
Had me just out here just accepting niggas over and over and over.
Exactly.
Mind you, over and over and over and over and over again. Let me tell y'all something. Stop watching them damn movies.
Exactly. Turn it off.
Out here fucked up.
But you love a good Hallmark Christmas love story.
I do love a good Hallmark Christmas love story. But that Blackie Addict shit that we was talking about, motherfuckers up there humping and grinding on other women at the prom and all of that, and then he see her come out with her sexy negligee, form-fitted, maxi pad dress on, all that kind of stuff. And now he talking about, oh, he want to see what that's about, sneaking in through her window, taking her virginity. And then go out to college, they don't want to be there.
And take the bitch to Burger King.
Right. Then they go out to college. They together, they not together. They together, not together. He acting right, he not acting right. He acting right, he want it, he don't want it. He want daddy done cheated on his mom and all that kind of stuff and just doing all this other stuff. Just and then he just kept coming back to her over and over and over again. She like a fool. Kept taking it. Why? Because she didn't believe that she was really pretty.
What? Yeah.
She thought that she was just like this tomboyish, old, roughhousing looking thing. Bitch, you're Sanaa Lathan. Let's be like, girl, let's be so fucking serious. And then on top of that, I think that it had a lot to do with how her sister looked, like a Regina Hall kind of fine.
And they had her shaped up nice.
Yeah, they had her shaped up nice, and she was the pretty sister. The fact that they was basically the same age is crazy to me too.
Well, I feel like, to your point of like the exaggeration of together, not together, together, I feel like television shows and just motion pictures in general, TV in general, it made me have this very like Hollywood fantasy, romanticized vision of how love is supposed to be, and that's something that I have had to learn over the years because I have had relationships where I was like, okay, well maybe it'll look like this, and it has made me really try to choose partners to live up to this image, this Hollywood image of love. And even now, like in my relationship, I do feel like it's healthy for the most part, but I also feel like in the beginning of it, I was like, well, we not doing this, and we not going on vacations, and we not like doing all this Hollywood shit. And it's like, we live in real life.
That's not real.
Like, that's not
I mean, it may be real for some people.
Some people, yeah. Like, I want to go on trips. That's something that I want to do in real life for sure. But like, a lot of this shit, we will get to it. It takes time.
Right.
And we are doing actual life with each other. We're not in each other's lives just for the highlights.
We can't just cut scene and go to something else.
Thank you.
Like,
I wish we could.
Like, bitch, I got to go to bed with your raggedy ass after you just pissed me off. I can't just cut scene and we in the kitchen cooking. I'm throwing dough at you and shit. Like, oh, Thomas. Oh, Thomas, stop it. You know, shit like that. I don't know who Thomas is, but
That might be your next nigga.
I can't be with nobody named Thomas.
Okay.
Ew.
So, to sum everything up, our childhoods definitely play a role in how we experience love today.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank y'all for having this conversation with me.
You're welcome.
Very
This is
much
so
needed.
good, dude. Like,
It's like lethargy.
yeah.
You know, the nostalgia of it all.
Yes.
You got some good shit going here, girl.
Some good shit that
You got some good shit that you got.
Okay. Until next time, may your hearts be full and your connections deep. This has been Sincerely Love, the podcast.